Hey, thanks a lot, Lance, for stopping by with us today. Please introduce yourself and tell us how Golden Corral is positioned for the year ahead.
Thank you, Ron, for having me. I appreciate it. My name is Lance Trenary, and I'm the president and CEO of Golden Corral Corporation. When we visited a year and a half ago, Golden Corral was in a much different position then. COVID just devastated our business as it did the entire industry, but buffets were really at the tip of the spear. And so as we really started to innovate and pivot and think differently about our business, just literally to survive those first 6 to 8 months. The great thing about it is that our guests are very loyal at Golden Corral, and they stuck with us. They knew that we were going through some difficult times. They knew that we were having to make changes because of COVID. And subsequently, what happened is when we were able to return to I don't want to say normal buffet business because I don't know that anything's really normal anymore, but certainly the buffet business, much more like what they were accustomed to, they started coming back in droves. And we're so incredibly appreciative to them because our loyal guests, even though they're only about 15 or 16% of our total guest makeup, they make up 70% of our traffic. They eat with us 70 plus times a year. And so when we opened our doors back up and we started being able to serve buffet again across the nation, which wasn't really until this past summer, our guests responded very well. And so that coupled with all the innovation that we did have to do, all the pivots we had to make, really has put us in a position going forward to be even a much stronger brand than what we went into it. As you know, and we talked about a year ago, we made a bet on our franchisees. We have incredible franchise operators in our system, and our people, our team really came together in a way that I'm just so incredibly proud of, that they were able to innovate, think differently. We almost acted like a startup company with a 47-year history behind us. And so it was a unique time, but things like off premise. When we went into the pandemic, Golden Corral only experienced about 2% off premise business. The buffet experience is inherently not an off premise occasion. So as we had to make those changes, as we had to start thinking about differently how we could do curbside delivery, buffet brought to you, buffet at the table, all of these different changes that we made, it really is, a lot of that has stuck with us. And so now we're up 500% in our off premise. That sounds like a lot, but now we're at 10%, So we've got a lot of catching up to do, we know, but at the end of the day, it's moving in the right direction. But what we did was stay very focused on our food quality. We made sure that we really are positioning ourselves to, all of our brand strategy is around value. Abundance and value, and making sure that our food quality, our made from scratch food, stays top of mind for all of our guests. So as we thought about how we were going to bring in a new chief marketing officer, that was something that really had to resonate with us, somebody that understood the strategy behind marketing as much as the tactical pieces of it. And so we were very fortunate to have Skip Hankey join our team. He was most recently with Applebee's and got great experience there, and with Procter and Gamble and some other great experiences in his past. But as we talked about moving Golden Corral forward, as we talked about the brand evolving, we really wanted to make sure that we had a very specific strategy of taking great care of our core customer, making sure that we were true to who we are, that we were the best buffet in the USA, if you will, that we remained in that position, but that we also really took advantage of our value position, that we really made sure that as we talk about our food and the abundance and variety, that we centered it around value, and that our tagline is the only one for everyone. And what a great opportunity for America as they begin to heal around the country, for us to come back together, to be able to join, around a kitchen table, so to speak, at Golden Corral, and be able to have something that everyone can enjoy and be able to gather with large groups again and things of that nature. So it's an
But
exciting time at Corral.
besides that 10% off premises sales, that's kind of where it's fallen in now.
Yes, yes,
Uh,
that's
but
where we are now. Mhm.
besides that, what other pivots did Golden Corral make that you think have stickiness to it?
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. We're testing a tremendous amount of things. We've actually tested alcohol as a system, which, you know, with family dining doesn't really fit. So we're being very cautious about it. We've got it in a limited number of locations. We've seen pretty good acceptance by our guests. And we're not looking at it as like a bar experience or anything of that nature. It's strictly as an enhancement to their meal, to their dining experience. So you do have to purchase a buffet if you're going to consume alcohol on premise. We don't have a sit down bar or anything of that nature. So, but that's been one of the areas that we've looked into. We also, believe it or not, we're testing some drive-throughs. And you think, well, how in the world does a buffet deliver a drive-through experience? But our food travels so well. Fried chicken, meatloaf, pot roast, comfort foods in general travel well. And this gives us the opportunity to package some meals together, whether it be family meal replacement or even individual meals, and gives the consumer the opportunity to never have to leave the comfort of their car. They go through, place an order at a menu board, and then park in a designated spot. And then we get the food out to them within, we're trying for 60 seconds. We're closer to a minute 20 right now. But the customers have really seemed to understand that our food does take a little bit of time. It's put together based on their order. So they've been very accepting of it. We're seeing a continued rise in those test markets as well. So yeah, those two things. And then we also are testing some retail type experience inside the restaurant. So family meal replacements, things of that nature on the guest way out of the restaurant. So we have some display counters with things like our yeast rolls that are made from scratch are incredibly popular with our customers. I can't tell you how many dozens of yeast rolls that people buy on the way out. So and then we have, you know, sweets. We make a lot of our cakes ourselves and things of that nature. People will buy those. And so there's some retail that we're finding seems to have some legs as we move forward. So, and then we're also, Ron, really making sure that we're thinking about Golden Corral as a brand and how we're going to evolve to be the very best buffet experience for our customer. But also, are there some other avenues that we can pursue where we're still stay true to our beliefs and values, still, you know, stay true to our core customer of thinking about who we are, but deliver it in a different way. So we've got two other concepts that we're in the process of developing. One would be more along the lines of a smaller footprint, fast casual. When COVID hit, a 12,000 square foot building is not always your best friend. You know, it's a lot of overhead for our franchisees and our company operators. So we're looking at a 3,500 to 4,000 square foot footprint with a drive-through window, a more limited menu, but still centered around comfort foods. And our corporate chefs are developing some incredible recipes with some variations off of those core items. But we're very excited. We've already tested some of the products, and those things are testing really well. We've developed our virtual kitchen, as I think we talked about last time, Homeward, and it's utilizing some of these products, and they're selling very well. So we believe that we could actually have a brick and mortar idea around this, and so we're testing that. We also, as you know, started 48 years ago now, almost 49 years ago, in a few more weeks, around the value steakhouse. And Golden Corral believes there might be just a little niche left in there around a value steakhouse for high quality, hand cut, fresh beef, which is what we've always served. But really a little bit more on the value equation. We're not going to compete with the Texas Roadhouse or a Longhorn, something like that, Outback. But we believe that there might be a segment just under them that combines a little bit of comfort food along with some of the value steak cuts that we believe we can produce. So we're excited about both of these. We'll be launching sometime in 22, and it's gotten a lot of interest from our franchisees, but everybody still is very much embracing the buffet. As we see some of our restaurants are reopening with 150% in comp sales over 2019. So it's everybody's really excited about the buffet again, but we want to make sure that we've got several different options should we ever be faced with something like COVID again. And if there's a way to expand our brand but not take away from it, then we want to make sure that we're thinking about those things for our company and for our franchisees.
If you had to put a timetable on the fast casual and the steakhouse, what would you say? Those are corporate owned locations?
Yeah, we are looking at both options, either corporate owned, which is where we're putting a lot of our innovation money, or we could partner with the franchisees. We've got multiple franchisees that have experience with other brands that we believe could lend very well to us developing these ideas. So we're exploring both options. My intent is for us to be open by mid to late summer of next year. We're in the design phase right now. We've already been through the research, and we're working with some outside firms to help us with the design, the naming, and all of those things that go with it. But it's definitely moving forward, and we're definitely looking forward to having those going in 22.
Right now, as we're ending 2021, how many Golden Corral units are there franchised in corporate?
Yeah, we have 360 open as of today, and we've got about another 40 in the pipeline that are either remodeling. They were able to take advantage of the restaurant recovery fund. Many of them were, but or idle loans or whatever it might have been, whatever resources they were able to garner, and they're putting that back into their businesses. So we have a lot of stores that are closed right now for remodels, and they're completely revamping the interior, exterior, so that they open with a bang. And we've had really good success with that model. We did lose some restaurants, through COVID. We've probably, when it's all the dust settles, Ron, we'll probably have lost 80 restaurants at a minimum. Some of them were at the end of their lease and just chose not to renew, a variety of reasons, but there are not many entities. We didn't lose many franchisees. We just lost individual restaurants. And so we had some reorganization that went on. I think we talked a little about that last time among some of our franchisees. But, at the end of the day, for as hard as it hit the buffet segment, we're very pleased with where we're coming out of it on the other side. Our restaurants are returning to profitability. Obviously, we've got the same headwinds that everyone has with commodities and supply chain and workforce shortage and things of that nature. That's why it's so critically important that Congress act again and get this restaurant recovery fund replenishment. There's still nearly 200,000 restaurants out there that applied and just didn't get it in round one because of their placement in line. So I'm probably putting my National Restaurant Association hat on for just a second. As you know, I'm incoming chair this next year. So
and congratulations on that.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to it because, this industry was hit so hard. And I think we've got such a great opportunity for recovery that I'm really looking forward to advocating, doing anything I can to help move us forward. This is an industry that gives back to so many communities around the country and creates so much opportunity that the country should want the restaurant industry to be strong. As the country's second largest private sector employer, we need to have a strong industry. And I think with just a little more help, a little more opportunity for resources from, whether it be from Congress or from whatever opportunities we can seek, this might be the opportunity to get the restaurant industry where it needs to get that final push. It seems like every time that we've gotten a little momentum, we've had another variant, either Delta variant, now Omicron, and then now faced with the headwinds that we are around commodity cost and supply chain and workforce shortages, all the things that we're facing, it continues to add a lot of pressure to the margins of all companies, buffet business in particular. And so we're really, when I mentioned earlier that we're really trying to structure everything around value, we're trying very hard not to just take things in price to grow our business. We're really watching our meal counts closely. And so I think that's going to be a chicken that comes home to roost in 22 for a lot of organizations. And I'm really, very cautious about that with Golden Corral. We're really trying to coach our franchisees and our own company experience to not take it all in price. We know that there's going to have to be some price inflation, but if we can mitigate it by either labor savings or food cost ideas or facility savings in any way, then we certainly need to take advantage of those first and not just pass everything directly on to the customer.
When do you take on your new NRA role?
I'm sorry.
When do you take on your new NRA role?
Just in a few weeks in January. Yeah.
January. Well, congratulations on that. And it is your 49th year. I've got to ask about that photograph above your right shoulder. Is that an original location?
It is. That's Golden Corral started in 1973 in Fayetteville, North Carolina. That actually is our third restaurant in Sanford, North Carolina. But it's the same. If you could interchange the pictures, that's the way we look. And then the picture on the other side is our newest design, the Gateway design, and that's the latest and greatest. So that's the old salad bar, our famous 23-item salad bar, and that had a macrame thing there that held crackers and things of that nature. So, and then that's our newest buffet on the other side. So it's quite an evolution. It's fun for me to every now and then turn around and look at those because it's so much, as you know, I think we've talked about in the past, Golden Corral operates under what we call our 100-year plan. And 100-year plan means that we plan to be in business for a minimum of 100 years. So all the decisions we make as a company need to be long-term in scope. We need to be thinking about, is that consistent with us being in business for 100 years? And so as we look at those pictures and we continue to evolve, we know we have to stay true to who we are, our beliefs, our values, our very core of who we are. But we'd also know we need to evolve. So as long as we're doing it the right way and we're thinking about things both on the long term, but also about taking care of the guests today in our restaurants, we think we've got a great shot of being here for that 100 years. I hope I'm here to see it. So
yeah, you and me both, actually.
Yeah, amen. Amen.
I'm tired of this 100-year pandemic that we're just getting through. So
it feels like the last 2 years, in restaurant years are usually add a few. The last 2 years, I think, count for 10 at least.
You're right there. Well, Lance, thank you very much for your time today. Congratulations on your new roles, and look forward to seeing what happens with Golden Corral in the year ahead.
I look forward to it as well and hope to see you again soon.